So you want to do what I did over 20 years ago and start your own photography business at home? More power to you. I'm going to walk you through all the steps that you need, so stay tuned. A little more than 20 years ago, I started a photography business from my house. And I can remember looking at all the amazing photographers. In fact, one of my friends, her name is Carrie Bischoff, she became this amazing, talented photographer out of her home. And I saw her build her website and I saw her work and it was amazing. And I thought, oh, I need to give myself permission to do that. I have loved photography for years and I never made it a business until I saw someone else and I thought, you know what? I could do that too. That looks really cool. I'm going to try it. So I did it. I did it 20 years ago. I started my photography business right out of my home. I started getting clients. I started getting orders and I started feeling this overwhelm of too many clients. And I've been through the whole gamut as far as photography business goes. So I want to walk you through the step-by-step process, if this is for you, how to do it from your home. First things first, you've got to be a good photographer, which means you need to know your eye for your style, and you also need to know your equipment inside out, back and forth. If that means you have to break out the manual for your equipment, great. If you want to look up your equipment on YouTube and watch tutorials on how to get through your equipment, great. Do that. But the best way, hands down, to get the most out of this experience with getting familiar with your equipment is to go out there and start shooting with it. Start creating images. Start taking images and then changing the setting and then taking the exact same image so you can see what it looks like all the way through. Start messing with composure. Start messing with exposure. Start messing with your f-stops and your focal length and your aperture and all of those beautiful things in your camera. Start experimenting and creating on purpose. Once you kind of find this rhythm and this look that you're going for, then it will become routine. But just start creating images. These may be the worst images of your life. They may be the most valuable images at the end of your career. Just start creating something and get familiar with the equipment that you're working with. The second part of this really kind of goes into the first. Shoot everything that you can. Photograph everything that you can. Yes, because you want to get used to your camera, but you also want to know what you enjoy taking pictures of. When I first started in photography, I took pictures of newborns, I did pets, I did weddings, I did interiors, exteriors, landscape, architecture, Art Nouveau, graphic design, documentary style, everything. I shot it all because I wasn't quite sure what my niche was yet. I wasn't quite sure what I enjoyed. So I took pictures of everything. And that is going to build your portfolio. It's also going to give you exposure. And most importantly, it's going to narrow down your niche so that you know what you love to photograph. So when you're starting out, go out and shoot everything. By the way, it's okay to delete images when you're done. I know as a photographer that it's hard to say goodbye to an image, but guys, if you've got 50 of the same image or similar on your hard drive and you really, really love it, maybe just keep one. But if you're doing a photo study on something and you know that those images aren't going to be useful to you, clear your hard drive, get the space. Maybe you can just reduce the size of the photo if you want and then save it. But guys, give yourself a break. It's okay to delete some of your images. But you got to shoot stuff first. So go out and shoot everything you possibly can. When you're starting a photography business from home, you've got to have Instagram. That there's just no way to get around it. You have a photography business in the 21st century. You need to have an Instagram account. Instagram was made for photographers. Doesn't matter what your niche is. Doesn't matter what your favorite thing to shoot is. It was made for photographers because it's an image-based platform. As media consumers, we go for images first, which really works in your favor, but you've got to put yourself out there and be creating content on Instagram. And not only that, posting regularly. Check out some of my other videos on Instagram. Look at those and watch how we're constructing your profile and how to lay out and do all of that. But you've got to have an Instagram account if you're doing a photography business from home. One way to get started in photography is to get pro bono clients. And pro bono is just another word for free clients or reduced price clients. And that's something difficult that a lot of other photographers don't like to hear. I don't like to hear it either, because when you're doing pro bono client work, it can, if you don't do it right, actually dilute the industry and cheapen the experience for all the other photographers. The way that's done is if you have great talent and you're not charging anything for it, you're shooting yourself and all of the other photographers in the foot. Like, no pun intended, right? So if you're doing pro bono work, let it be experimental, let it be fun, but as soon as you start getting really confident, please start charging and start charging appropriately so that you can build your business and build the business of all the other photographers in your area. Scratch each other's back sort of a thing. On the back of doing pro bono clients, you want to do what are called collaboration shoots. Now these shoots are designed and put together sometimes by photographers, sometimes they're put together by the models, sometimes they're put together by a dress shop or a makeup artist. It doesn't really matter who instigates the collaboration shoot, but the collaboration shoot is composed of several different photographers, several different models, several different, decorators or stylists, depending on what the theme of the shoot is. If you have a wedding theme, you're going to have a cake decorator in there, you're going to have a wedding invitation person in there, you're going to have a bridal gown shop in there. If it's a high fashion shoot, you're going to have different hair and makeup artists in there, different members for every different shoot. But the beauty of a collaboration shoot is that you can get a lot of different photographers in there with a lot of different angles, a lot of different models, and you can all come home with something beautiful and something different for every single one. And it's a great portfolio booster, and it's a great networking tool. So for example, if you have a client that came in because they saw one of your amazing collaboration shoots and they say, oh, I love that person's makeup in that shoot, you can say, well, I can give you the information of the person that did it, and you're just sharing the love because you did that collab shoot. So it's going to build your portfolio, and it's going to give you great networking experience. So do collab shoots and do them often, both as you're starting out and when your business starts growing. You're going to find, like I found, that a lot of your shoots are done not as artistically as you want it to be. When your business starts growing and start hopping, it can easily slip into killing your passion because you're shooting for everybody else and not yourself. So as often as you need, whether it's once a month or once a year, get together with a creative collaborative shoot and shoot for you. Shoot based on your inspiration and your passion. When you start doing your photography business and you start setting up your packages, I have two things to keep in mind. The first is keep it simple. I used to build these super complex packages with print sizes different and hours and different and all of these things different, and it wasn't simple enough for my clients, and it actually drove people away the more detailed I got. So the more simple you can get in building your price point and your packaging, the better, I promise you. The second thing to keep in mind is please do not cheapen the industry by undercharging your clients. Okay, look at other photographers in your area. Look at what their talent and their skill set is. Look at their niche market. If yours is similar to that, then you want to price similarly. Yeah, you can run sales and you can run 20% off specials and whatever you want to do with that, but make sure your regular price and your foundational price is in the same ballpark as your competition. Okay, that's going to boost the industry, because if you're wanting to break into photography, you know this as well as I do. Anyone that holds a camera can call themselves a professional photographer, but not everyone's work deserves the title. Okay, if your work deserves the title, you should be charging for it. Don't cheapen the industry. The last thing to keep in mind as you're becoming a professional photographer, as you're doing this startup business from home, is to get online. Get on Facebook, connect with other photographers. There's this really weird thing that happens when you're online and you're starting a business, especially as a creative, like photographers are. We tend to get scarcity minded and we don't want to work with or talk with or collab with other photographers because somehow we think it's going to cheapen our client base or lower our leads or whatever. I gotta tell you right now, that's scarcity mindset thinking. Get that out of your mind right now. The more you can collab, the more you can connect, the more you can bounce ideas and bring new inspiration together with other photographers, the better. In fact, I'm going to recommend a Facebook group to you if you're a photographer called Beauty and Truth. It's one I've been a member of for several years. The ladies and gentlemen in that group have saved my hide more than once when I needed a battery and when I needed to know if an orchard was in bloom. That creative collaborative group is going to be a huge asset for you in your photography business. And everyone's welcome, from brand new in the market, amateur, business owner, full-on professional. This is a great community for people to get connected. If you're not part of that group, get a part of some group, whether it's a camera group or a modeling group or whatever it is. Collab and talk to other people who are in the industry. Great photographers, the truly great photographers, will be willing to talk and share their ideas with you all along the way. I hope that information was super valuable to you. Let me know any questions that you have right here in the comments. Hit that subscribe button. Be sure to ring the bell. That's going to send video notifications right to you. I'll see you tomorrow.